A single game stands between us and a European final. We do have the advantage over Ajax in the Europa League, but our lead is a narrow one, just a single goal. So it's not an exaggeration to say that the entire Graham Potter era at Everton hangs on the return leg at Goodison Park. If we manage to hang on to or even extend that 1-goal lead, we will round the series out with the Europa League final. If Ajax manage to come back and knock us out, then the series ends here. We do also have 3 Premier League games to get to today. Liverpool, Crystal Palace and Wolves, each at home, as we try to make sure that we are playing European football next season, finishing in one of those European places. Of course, I would rather make Champions League football next season by winning the Europa League. So that's what we'll continue to pursue immediately here in today's featured game against Ajax. It was a close fought, tightly contested game last time out at the Johan Cruyff Arena. We did manage to come away with a goal and just a single goal victory, but Ajax will have a bit between their teeth as they come to Goodison Park for the return leg. Ajax will also have Manu Kone back in their midfield after he was suspended for the first leg. Jordan Henderson drops back into a central defensive midfield role. Owen Wijndal comes in at left back as well. Otherwise, I believe an unchanged back four for Ajax. Yorko and Guiri support Mika Tadzi up front today. Giuliano had a poor performance in the first leg. He drops to the bench. As for Graham Potter's 11, the stronger side has really established itself. So Potter has very few difficult decisions to make. The one area of the squad that really is still up in the air is central midfield. Anton Stack and Lewis Ferguson get the nod today. Scott McTominay starts on the bench. So without further ado, let's head over to Goodison Park for this, the most important game of the series so far, and see if we can book our place in the Europa League final. So we are up in the commentary box for a Europa League semi-final. Just 3 seasons it's taken us to get here. We finished, I believe, 12th in Graham Potter's first season. 6th last season to book our place in this competition. And we have a chance to improve on that even further, with 3 Premier League games left to play. But even if we weren't to improve on a 6th place finish, if we can get into the Europa League final and somehow come away with the trophy, I think that would be an excellent 3 seasons spent. 150 games at Everton for Graham Potter now. And his trajectory at the club as Ajax work it into the box early. Jordan Pickford makes a big save. We said before the game that Ajax were going to have a bit between their teeth for this one. They've got nothing to lose really coming into the game. They are 1-0 down, so they're going to have to press the issue. Maxim de Kuiper wriggles away from his marker though. Can he find Matheus Cunha? Yes, he can on the half-turn, blocked. Early sights of goal for both teams in this one. But as I was saying, the trajectory of the club under Graham Potter has looked not too dissimilar from his Brighton and Hove Albion days. Kind of a top half of the table side. Not in the upper echelon of teams like the Big Six, but in that next tier down. And performing well in Europe as well. Lewis Ferguson, a bold choice by Graham Potter in midfield today. He works back to defend, as does Anton Stack, who has to be careful not to give away a penalty. We've seen some very soft penalties given away in the series so far. Van den Boomen gets another shot at goal, again parried away by Jordan Pickford. But these are distressing early signs for our prospects of making the final. Lewis Ferguson in midfield gets the nod ahead of Scott McTominay. And I think that pretty much signals Graham Potter's intent today. Not content to sit back and defend this 1-goal lead, but wants to go out and extend it to secure the game, to take control of the tie. That's exactly what Ajax have managed to do early here though. And they are pressing high up the pitch early today too. That was something that we didn't really see them do in the first leg. They sat off, but it looks like they're going to be more aggressive in their press today. Good challenge, Saint-Maximin. I think we just look to ride this early wave, weather this early storm, and then grow into the game by playing our football. Lewis Ferguson, Kevin Danzo. Can't find Reece Nelson. Can't win the ball back either. Instead just funnels it into the path of Nathan Patterson, who puts in a really good challenge, but is punished nonetheless by the referee's whistle. Ajax continue to press. And Guiri's going to be putting in the free kick from a dangerous area. Ahmed Hodzic wins the header. Can't clear though. Can on second attempt. Saint-Maximin lays it into the path of Lewis Ferguson, who looks for Reece Nelson, who finds Reece Nelson. Can he find Saint-Maximin? Is he onside? I think he is. Saint-Maximin doubles the lead. It's been all Ajax so far. But of course, pressing high, committing players into the box for that free kick is inevitably going to leave gaps in behind. And pace has been one of our primary methods of attack, really, since we've had the front, not just the front three, but the front four that currently comprise our team. Reece Nelson, Alain Saint-Maximin, Matheus Cunha, of course Hassan Diao, who's unfortunately injured for this one. It looks like he's going to take the title of Fans Player of the Season, but unfortunately we are missing him for this crucial stage of the season. But he's equally pacey, maybe even the paciest of the four. And it is the pace of Nelson and Saint-Maximin that open the scoring here today. Lewis Ferguson makes it 2, and we are walking into the Europa League final. 2 goals in as many minutes. Ajax press early, start the game incredibly brightly, and it takes only 2 minutes for that momentum to be ripped away from them, and for that place in the Europa League final to be ripped away from them. This is why Lewis Ferguson is in the squad. I mean, I wouldn't have bet against Scott McTominay from scoring in that kind of position. But Lewis Ferguson is a more attack-minded player. We were looking to extend our lead, and that's exactly what we've managed to do. And now we can just control the game. Now we can just sit back, defend, see it out. I don't see how Ajax managed to overcome a 3-goal deficit, especially if we have defending that lead in mind. We can play more conservatively. We have the luxury of doing that now. What a couple of minutes. And really, oh my God, it could be 3. Matheus Cunha steals the ball away. Can he truly put it to bed? Yes, he can. Matheus Cunha is not missing from that kind of an opportunity. Ajax absolutely implode. Absolutely disastrous 5 minutes. Arguably 5 of the most disastrous minutes in the history of the club. And Matheus Cunha absolutely buries it in the top corner. And we really are walking our way into the Europa League final. We struggled a little bit in the Premier League in recent episodes, but we certainly haven't struggled in the Europa League. We've had a very easy draw, had a very easy run of things through the entire competition, really. The only opposition that we faced that should have given us any trouble was Manchester United. Our group was incredibly easy. Our round of 16 fixture was not too difficult, even though it should have been more difficult than it was against Manchester United. And then Lens in the quarterfinals. No, it was Manchester United in the quarterfinals. It was Lens in the semi-final. No, I'm getting myself all mixed up. It was Manchester United in the quarters. in the round of 16 rather. It was Lens in the quarters. It's Ajax in the semis. We're not in the final just yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm thinking we're going to be lifting a trophy after this game. But we do still have one game left to play. I feel confident saying there's going to be one more episode in the series. Good save, Jordan Pickford. What a stop that is. Diving away to his left-hand side. It's the first time he's been really tested today. We need to get out and close this down. Kevin Danso does exactly that. Gives the ball away immediately, though. Isaac Toure stands the... No! Ahmed Hodzic gets something on it. Almost puts it in the back of his own net. Frantic couple of minutes. But we do manage to avoid conceding. Kevin Danso doing some good defensive work. We were unable to really clear the danger, though. And it looked for a moment as though Ahmed Hodzic might have been on the score sheet at the wrong end. Good challenge, Ahmed Hodzic. That's a poor challenge from Matheus Cunha. Nathan Patterson shows him how it's done and then just lays the ball into the path of Reece Nelson once more. Nathan Patterson, Ahmed Hodzic. So there will be one more episode, and it will be just a single game to be played in that episode, the Europa League final. We will play our remaining three Premier League games here today. And then it will be the Europa League final on Monday. We do have 2 new series lined up for the channel as well. So beginning this weekend, of course, Euro 2024 starts this weekend. And we'll be beginning a Euro 2024 tournament mode series with England this Friday. So make sure you don't miss that. We'll be playing each of the group stage fixtures. And each fixture beyond that, single game per episode. Played in full, of course, 10-minute halves. So those might be slightly shorter than usual. And we'll be running a second series concurrently on the channel as well. So I'm also going to be playing a realistic career mode in the MLS with the New England Revolution. And we'll be testing out a slightly different episode format for that particular series. Very similar to what we're doing right now, but a slight change to the format of the episodes. And it should help us to move a little bit more swiftly through each season. But it hopefully shouldn't sacrifice any of the depth and immersion that we currently enjoy. Saint-Maximin makes it 4. Too easy. Too easy. I'm trying to pick the ball up. We want 5. The crowd is screaming. Trying to pick the ball up with Saint-Maximin. Clinical finish. What a volley. First time finish on his left foot. Bottom corner. Nothing the goalkeeper can do. Too easy. So we will be testing a new episode format that, as I said, should keep the depth and immersion, but should allow us to move a little bit more swiftly through seasons. So seasons should be about 10 episodes. Maybe 8 to 10 episodes. But it should be a good balance between moving quickly and keeping the depth and immersion. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already, so you don't miss out on either of those. We should have time for 1 or 2 more career mode series before the year is up as well. And before we move into FC 25. But for now, oh my days. Frustration by Ajax. It's got to be at least a booking this time. And Ajax are just going for the shins now. A little bit spiteful, a little bit resentful potentially. Oh, I thought that was going to be 5. If they can't book a place in the final, they're going to look to at least hamper us in the final by injuring as many players as possible by the looks of it. Cleared upfield by the Ajax goalkeeper. It's been an unfortunate night for him, really. There's been very little he could have done, really, about any of the goals. He's really been let down by his defence so far. Good block, Kevin Danzo. Gets beaten to the second ball, though, somehow. Managed to hold the Ajax winger up on the edge of the box, though. Reece Nelson back doing his defensive duties as well. Jordan Henderson. And pass straight into the feet of Lewis Ferguson. And we can just see the first half out here, hopefully. Thais Cunha gives the ball away, though. He was surrounded by 3 Ajax players. Good challenge again, Nathan Patterson. And we can hopefully just see this first half out with a clean sheet. That's poor. Not sure why Patterson's trying the flare pass there when he should have just been tapping the ball upfield for Thais Cunha. And there goes the referee's half-time whistle. A 4-0 lead, a 5-0 lead in the leg overall, or in the fixture overall rather. And I'm genuinely not sure what happened to Ajax there. They started the game so brightly. The first 15 minutes, it was all Ajax. And then absolute implosion. 2 goals in as many minutes. I mean, they've had all the possession. They've just done absolutely nothing with it. And we've been absolutely clinical when we've had the ball at our feet. Maybe a chance to rest a couple of players ahead of the Merseyside derby. So back out for the second half, and Graham Potter has made 3 changes at half-time. Gerard Deulofeu has come on for Thais Cunha. Festy Ebosele has come on at right back to replace Nathan Patterson. And I can't remember the third. Jack Harrison has come on to replace Reece Nelson. So a chance to rest a couple of first-team players. We are, of course, looking ahead now to the Europa League final. But we do have 3 Premier League games that we want to do as well in as possible to close out the season first. Deulofeu puts it just wide. Chance to extend the lead even further to begin the half. Goalkeeper probably had it covered, judging by that replay. And Jack Harrison will pressure Owen Wijndal high up the pitch. And he'll force Ajax back into their defensive third with a throw-in. And Festy Ebosele cuts it out. Deulofeu finds Lewis Ferguson. Strikes from range. Comfortable save by the goalkeeper. He was good in the first leg, to be fair, the Ajax goalkeeper. To concede 5 across 2 legs is obviously fairly damning for a goalkeeper. But as we said, there's been very little he could have done about any of the 4 goals that we've scored today. And when called upon, he has been decent enough. Harrison can't quite find Deulofeu. But he does track back to try and win back possession. But it's strong play by the Ajax winger. Strong challenge as well by Festy Ebosele. Got sick and tired of watching Jack Harrison fail to win the ball. And put in a crunching sliding challenge to show him exactly how it's done. Not sure how that can be a free kick. So it'll be interesting to see who we are facing in the final. It's Newcastle or Villarreal. The contest is poised at 1-1 going into the second leg. Not sure if I would... Not sure who I'd rather play out of the 2 sides. We do, of course, know Newcastle a little bit better. Facing them at least twice a year in the Premier League. And potentially even more than that with the domestic cup competitions. As Ajax press to try desperately to get back into this fixture. However, we do know, having played Newcastle multiple times this season, what a save, Jordan Pickford. What a save, Jordan Pickford. Ajax completely unable to get past him in fine form. And he comes out to claim that one as well. So we do know, having played Newcastle multiple times this season, how good they are and how difficult they can be to beat at times. So is it better the devil you know in the final, or would we rather face Villarreal, who we are not familiar with by any means, but who could be potentially a significantly easier proposition than Newcastle? Abasele finds De La Feu. He just tries to knock it to the back post where Saint-Maximin was lying in wait. Saint-Maximin wins the ball back. De La Feu finds De Kuiper, and we know what he can do from these kind of positions. Unfortunately, on that occasion, he just strikes the ball against the body of the Ajax man. I think I would prefer Villarreal. What a challenge, Festi Abasele. I'm surprised that wasn't given as a free kick. Ordinarily, you see those kinds of challenges punished, even though I do believe he won the ball. Doesn't seem to make much of a difference. And if we gifted Ajax a goal, Jordan Pickford again makes a big save. Ahmed Hodzic coming across, forced the shot early. Whereas it looked initially as if the Ajax man might be able to take another touch or two. Maxim De Kuiper wins the ball back. And with half an hour to go, there's absolutely no chance now that Ajax will get back into this. 5 goals in half an hour would be one of the most incredible feats in football history, I would say. Saint-Maximin can't quite beat his defender. He's been very good, to be fair, the Ajax right back. He has kept Saint-Maximin somewhat quiet over the 2 legs. As is this going to be Simeone to come on? It is Giuliano Simeone to come on for Ikone. So Ajax are committing themselves to getting back into the game. A striker coming on for a midfielder. And a somewhat defensive midfielder. And Ikone making way for Simeone has proven to be an excellent decision, because immediately, I mean, I wouldn't celebrate too much, especially in front of the away fans who currently are watching their side lead 5-1. But Simeone immediately makes an impact, beating Ahmed Hodzic, pulling it back for Mikatadze, who does slot the ball past Jordan Pickford. And I see no reason not to just sit in our defensive game plan for the last 25 minutes or so of this game. I'm still not worried by any means. It's a single goal. And I mean, it is the first goal that Ajax need to get back in the game. But they do still need 4 more just to draw a level. So we are certainly not at panic stations just yet. If we concede 2 more in the next 10 minutes or so, then maybe we can panic a little bit. But I mean, 5-1 is no different from 4-0. And if we were 4-0 up at this point, we would feel incredibly comfortable. Isak Toure stands up. The Ajax man slows down the attack. Kone once more. Good challenge, Lewis Ferguson. Very little on for the Ajax man in terms of attacking options. Maxim De Kuiper finds Gerard De La Feu, who is just crowded out by Ajax defenders. If there's one thing they have at the back, Ajax, it's pace. Jack Harrison waiting at the back post for that to drop onto his head, but it is cleared away before. And again, Kone. Ajax committing bodies forward at this stage of the game, and why not? Got absolutely nothing to lose. That's the most advanced I've seen the Ajax right back as well. Simeone once more. Good challenge, Anton Stack. And that's poor, giving possession right back to Ajax. We're in control of the game, but doesn't mean that we can afford to just concede or to cede possession so carelessly. Good challenge, Kevin Danzo. Waited for just the right moment to make the challenge. And I think we'll make another change or two next time the ball goes out of play. Ahmed Hodzic looks for Saint-Maximin on this left-hand side, and this will be an opportunity to make those changes. So 2 more changes for Graham Potter. Alan Saint-Maximin, another player to be rested, along with Anton Stack. Josh De Silva and Scott McTominay to come on in their place. Good challenge immediately by Scott McTominay. And we'll just hold on to possession. Kevin Danzo back to Jordan Pickford. And if we are going to keep possession, the goalkeeper does need an option to release the ball to. Lewis Ferguson gives it straight to Scott McTominay. And this Ajax press is causing some issues late in the game. So perhaps we will just get the ball upfield instead. Again, no options up the field. I mean, we are sitting back in our defensive game plan. And we do just need to waste time. Just see out these last 10 minutes. Good, mature, professional play from Gerard Deulofeu. Kevin Danzo, Isaac Toure. He's putting a better performance in this second leg. He was a little bit shaky in the first. Gave the ball away on a number of occasions. Didn't defend as well as we know he can. But he's been more than solid in the centre of defence for us today. Still a very, very young player, Isaac Toure. But has all the physical tools needed to be absolutely dominant at centre-back, especially in the centre of the back three. And we just go all the way back to Jordan Pickford, who will again search for Josh De Silva on that left-hand side. Blocked by the Ajax man. And so we'll just take a short free kick. Bestia Basele and acres of space. Plenty of space to take the ball up the field and into the corner. Or can we grab one more? Gerard Deulofeu will take the corner. 5 minutes left to play. 4-1 in the fixture. And we'll take a short one as well. Lewis Ferguson to Deulofeu. Jack Harrison. Poor. Really, really poor. Either take a shot or take it back into the corner. Instead, he just runs into traffic. To be honest, I'm not sure how Jack Harrison is still on the team. We did make his signing permanent in the first season. So I guess then it makes sense to hold on to him for a second season. And he was injured for the second season, so I guess then it made sense to hold on to him for a third. But he's been a pretty underwhelming player for all three of the seasons of the save so far. Ben Godfrey would probably be one that I wouldn't have anticipated holding on to for the entirety of the save as well. Jordan Pickford, of course, is a player that we would hope to have held on to for the entire save. And I would have been tempted to use the one clubman trait on Jordan Pickford if necessary, because I wouldn't have been surprised if clubs, bigger clubs than ours, came in with offers for Jordan Pickford. Is there anybody else who started an Everton player who is still on the side? James Tarkowski, of course, is another player who has survived the entire rebuild. And again, I'm not sure I would have anticipated that. He is well into his 30s. So potentially I would have expected, good save. I would have expected him to leave on a free. And he did have the opportunity to do that last season, but I believe we did extend him for one more year. And I think that might be it. James Garner as well, another player who has survived the entire rebuild. It's taken a bit of a backseat this season due to the signings of Anton Stack, Scott McTominay, and due to injury. But we have made it. Slightly easier than I anticipated. I thought this would be another very cagey affair, and it looked as though it might be pretty difficult in the first 15 minutes or so. But by half-time, the game is long gone. We do manage to progress to the final with a huge 4-1 victory, 5-1 over Ajax on aggregate. And let's see who we're going to be facing in the final. So it's going to be Newcastle United versus Everton in the Europa League final. Newcastle squeeze past Villarreal. A narrow 2-1 victory gives them a narrow 3-2 victory on aggregate. So it's going to be a familiar foe in the Europa League final to round out the month, to round out the season, to round out the series. But it's going to be another familiar foe in the next game as we take on Liverpool in the Merseyside derby at Goodison Park. And of course, we do want to give the home fans a victory in the derby. So the starting 11 pretty much remains from the Ajax game. James Tarkowski, the only change. Some players less than fully fit though, so we may need to be making changes at halftime and into the second half. And it was all Liverpool early on. They started the game really brightly, and Valverde turned this shot towards goal. It went narrowly over Jordan Pickford's bar. I'm not 100% sure he would have got there. He looked a bit more comfortable than I think he would have felt. But Jordan Pickford was in fine form once more, and we did call upon him to make a handful of really good saves. This time Sanset turned the ball towards goal. Jordan Pickford was alert, ready to parry the ball away to the left. But the Liverpool pressure did give us a chance to hit them on the counter-attack. Reiss Nelson found himself in a chance to put the ball in the back of the net on a couple of occasions on some quick counter-attacks. Alisson, though, in equally fine form as Jordan Pickford made the save. And despite the fact that Liverpool had a penalty in the first half, we came closest to scoring from the resulting corner. Kevin Danso headed towards goal. Alisson made the save with his feet. Danso was first to the rebound, but it was cleared off the line by, I think, potentially Rodrigo. Shouts of a handball in there as well. The second half wasn't quite as lively, but Lewis Dobbin did look good when he came on, cutting in off that right-hand side. His initial shot, his first of the game, was a pretty tame one. But 10 minutes from time, he had another opportunity. Lewis Ferguson laying the ball into his path, and he made no mistake this time, burying the ball in the far corner. And that single goal was enough to see out the victory. So not only do we progress to the Europa League final in today's episode, but we also overcome Liverpool in the Merseyside derby, something we haven't managed to do on many occasions in the series so far, which leaves just 2 games left to play in the Premier League. Manchester United are 4 points ahead of us in third position. Spurs are also 4 points ahead of us, but we have a game in hand, and Aston Villa have just a 2-point lead on us. And again, we have a game in hand over them. So our next game against Crystal Palace may be one that we need to win, but we simply can't afford to play our strongest 11. Everybody is less than match fit. So Ebasele, Ben Godfrey, Noah Mbamba, James Justin, James Garner, Traore, Harrison, Waldschmidt all come into the starting 11 for this one, and are likely going to start against Wolves as well. And you know this game was an underwhelming one, so we only have 2 highlights to show from it. One is a Jordan Pickford save. Crystal Palace didn't create a huge amount of opportunities in the game, but this was a fantastic save from Pickford. Not point blank range exactly, but not far out. Really good reaction stop. And whilst we had opportunities, we had very few shots. They were more chances in the box, but passes were just off target. And Crystal Palace did end up grabbing a goal on the quick counter-attack that gave them a 1-0 victory. So we win 1-0 against Liverpool, and a really underwhelming performance means we lose 1-0 against Crystal Palace, which means it all comes down to our final game of the season against Wolves, who currently sit in 7th place, 2 points away from 6th place Aston Villa, 3 points away from 5th place Arsenal. 4th place is now out of the question, and we pretty much have to run our substitutes, our backups, our reserves into the ground to make sure we have our strongest possible 11 available for the Europa League final against Newcastle. We got off to a brighter start in this one. Bertrand Traore causing issues down the right-hand side. He cut in onto his left foot, but he's no Assane Diao, he's no Reiss Nelson. His shot went harmlessly wide. Wolves had their fair share of opportunities as well, but like ours, they were mostly from long range. This one from Nelson Semedo, like Traore's just before, flashed wide of Jordan Pickford's post. Pickford was in good form again today as well. He made a handful of important saves. This one at the near post as Wolves cut it back into the penalty area. And then this one shortly after from the resulting short corner. Again, it's near post. Again, just making himself big, covering the angles, and managing to save the shot with his feet. But again, it was a pretty underwhelming performance. We did have pretty much our entire second team out, and they were lacking in terms of full match fitness. They were very much on their last legs by the end of the game, so managed to see the game out. But despite putting 4 past Ajax earlier in the episode, we just managed to score 1 against Liverpool. We failed to score against both Crystal Palace and against Wolves. And that does mean we will finish the season just outside those European places once more, this time in 7th place. But 12th place finish, 6th and then 7th is not too bad at all, considering what the state of the club when Graham Potter first took over. But that does set things up perfectly for the final game of the season and the final game of the series, our Europa League final clash against Newcastle. Been a fantastic series, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who's watched, who's liked, who's subscribed during these past 3 seasons. The channel's grown massively in that short space of time, and I'm glad you're enjoying watching the content as much as I'm enjoying making it. In the final episode, we will basically recap what we've done over the course of the series. We'll check in on a few former Everton players like Amadou Onana, like Jared Branthwaite, see how they're getting on at their new clubs. And we'll be announcing the award winners for the season, Managers Player of the Season, Fans Player of the Season, Player of the Series as well. So not just Season 3, but the entire series so far. Signing of the series, all those kinds of things, as well as getting to the final of the Europa League against Newcastle. So we'll look forward to that in the next one and the last one. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.